Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you very much. My name is Kwame Gonza, and the channel is called Africa Reimagined. Today, we want to talk about what it means or the reason why Africa has to unite in the next 10 to 12 years. Africa has come a long way, and as we have examined historically in the past, there is a lot of things which are going on around the world. And so it is only right for Africa also to fall into the speed of world events, the events that are going on around the world, and make its statement and take its rightful place on the international stage. All of us know how Africa is not respected on the international stage. And that respect that is not currently given to Africa can only be achieved if we, the Africans, decide to do the right thing. If we step up and start doing the right thing, that is the only way at this respect, which we yearn for, which we deserve, the respect which we deserve. Not because we are special as Africans, but we have contributed toward history. We are even today contributing to the state of world affairs, but that contribution is not being appreciated by the other countries. So it is only right for us to take our rightful stage, stage, on the world events, or to take our rightful place on the world stage. So Africa has to be worked on by us, and we have seen uh, this this work has already started. You can see that people like Julius Malema in South Africa and Economic Fighters League, they have already started the work. Recently, just a few days ago, they were able to picket at the French embassy. Okay, they demonstrated at the French embassy, and they handed them a memoranda. Okay, they handed them a memoranda, and they are demanding that France leaves Africa. So these are the reasons we are talking about, that our continent has to take its rightful, place. And our continent cannot take its rightful place if we, the Africans, do not do something about it. So Africa has to step up and then take its rightful place. So CIC, Malema, who's the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters of South Africa, stepped up on his people. He took his people to the French embassy in South Africa. And for a very long time, Africa has been ignored. Our demands have been ignored. They either dismiss it, they intimidate us into capitulation, or they blackmail us. And the same people who are blackmailing us, they are the same people who say that Africans are corrupt. So you wonder, how can Africans be corrupt when you people who are corrupting the Africans are free, and you declare yourself clean? You are clean of corruption. So this is what has been happening. So Malema has to step up with his people and go out there to the French embassy. And you could see that the ambassador of France in South Africa, even though he was refusing to come out of the house, he was refusing to come out of the embassy to come and speak, to come and meet the EFL and the fighters, to meet the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters of South Africa. Even though he was refusing to come out, Malema has to go inside the embassy and fetch him for him to come and receive the memoranda which they had prepared. In the memoranda, Malema pointed out the crimes that have been committed by France against Africa, things like the collection of reserves from 14 African countries. Some say 12, but we know that they are 14. So 14 African countries, their reserves are being collected and kept in France. Malema pointed this out. Malema pointed out also that the presidents who have been good in Africa have been killed through coup d'etats. France has been occupying the biggest part of Africa, and and it has been causing a lot of chaos, even sponsoring some of these terrorists. Of course, to which the ambassador said he doesn't agree with it, but they want to treat us like we are children, and we are not children. Okay, Africa is not made up of children. We understand what we are talking about because of the flow of information. There has been an explosion in information, with regards to the advent of new technologies, the advancement in technologies, the growth of technology has brought about this, growth the growth in outreach of information. So you cannot say that we don't know what we are talking about. I think that era of looking at Africans and treating us as children, that is when the era is over. That is where we can say that this era is over. Okay, so we have to have this discussion as Africans. Why must we have this discussion of the reason why Africa must unite and must unite in our era? Or in the next 10 to 12 years, is because the events that have gone on around the world, the war in Ukraine, the economic depressions in the United States, the economic depressions in Europe, when you see them fighting like this, it shows that something big is happening. Whenever you see that the United States and Europeans are pulling out their guns to go and attack a country, you just know that there is an economic depression in their country. There's economic problems in their country. And because they don't want to face these economic problems squarely, then this shows you that they want to go and take those problems onto the other countries around the world and claim that they are going to solve terrorism and claim they are going to fight extremists and all types of things. So they are justifying the invasion of other countries, like what you are seeing in Ukraine. It has happened before in the Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya. I don't want even to repeat those because, there were really heinous crimes that were committed over there. Numerous people, millions of people were killed, even though constantly they are mentioning human rights. So when these things are occurring, the economic depressions, when you look at all the periods when there was attacks on Afghanistan, for example, and Iraq, you can see there was economic problems in the United States and Europe. Those were depressions which were going on during those periods. 2001, okay, 2001, the attack on Iraq. You can see the attack on Iraq and Afghanistan. 2011, the attack on Libya, because these economic depressions, they happen after every 10 years. Okay, every 10 years. So 2001, they attacked, Afghanistan and Iraq. 2011, they attacked Libya. Now, 2022, you see what I'm talking about? 2022. Now we have another problem here in Ukraine. So, but when you look at economically, when you look at it, you will see that there is an economic depression in the United States. Their economies are shrinking. Okay, the major economies in Europe have been shrinking since 2020 at the advent of coronavirus. When the coronavirus came, those economies have been shrinking. When you go and look at the economic figures, France, Germany, which are the major economies, and Britain itself, the economies have been shrinking. So when they have these problems at home, they want to distract their people. Okay, they want to distract their people and say, we are going to solve a problem in Ukraine. We are going to solve a problem in North Africa. We are going to solve a problem in Zambia. You can see that the United States is trying to put up a military base in Zambia. We are going to solve a problem of terrorism. We are going to solve a problem in the Sahel. But what is the purpose there? The purpose is just to continue the stealing of resources. And now, why am I saying that we must unite? We must look at these times as an opportunity for us to unify. Is because when these people look like they are coming with militaries, it is actually the time when they are very, very weak. They are very weak and terrified. Okay, so that is why we must take advantage of this. That is why we must take advantage of this. In 1945, our ancestors looked at these, the war, the war, the World War II, which happened as an opportunity when these people were fighting. They took advantage of it. Our ancestors did this, and they took advantage of this. So when they took advantage of this, lo and behold, they were able to agitate and get independence because they understood that these are opportunities. And so also us today, we must understand that this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us as Africans to step up and start demanding. And people like Julius Malema in South Africa, or the EFF, because I understand that I may say Julius Malema and they may move in and try to kill him, but I know that even if they kill him, the EFF has already strengthened itself as an organization and is not relying on Julius Malema alone, but is relying on itself as a people. It has brought up good and strong young people who are revolutionary, understanding what is going on around the continent. So what I'm saying is that what they are doing in South Africa, we must replicate here. Okay, we must replicate all over the continent. What has been done in Mali, we must replicate it all over the continent. The imperialists are facing a lot of resistance. And on the other side, we have China and Russia who are willing even to help us to overthrow this imperialism. We have Russia on the other side that has been helping Mali. Okay, it has even offered to help Burkina Faso, which Burkina Faso, I'm skeptical about Burkina Faso, whether Burkina Faso itself is on the side of Pan-Africanists, like is a Pan-Africanist movement, like how you see in Mali. I'm skeptical about that. And both of them with Guinea, I don't know whether also they are a little bit Pan-African in their nature, but Russia had offered to help them. And this is one of the reasons why they are trying to punish Russia. They are trying to punish Russia by moving further into Ukraine, because Russia has offered help to Africa for Africa to be able to overthrow neocolonialism in this continent. So they are very vulnerable, and this is an opportune moment for us as Africans to take on neocolonialism and fight it out. They are very scared. They are indeed scared. Okay, they are scared. Okay, so we have to understand that they are very scared, and it is our time to act. It is our time to act. It is our time to do something about this situation. It is our time as Africans to unify our continent. It is our time to express ourselves. It's our time as Africans to take back what belongs to us, what is rightfully ours. The resources are ours. And all the military bases on the continent, we have to advocate that they should leave. The foreign military bases on the continent, we have to advocate. We have to agitate that these military bases, they should leave. Neocolonialism, imperialism, they should be overthrown. And we have to call for the expulsion. We have to call for the withdrawal of the military bases all over the continent. We have to call for the overthrow and withdraw of neocolonial, regimes, the withdraw and overthrow of the neocolonial policies all over the continent. Organizations like the World Bank that have been exploiting our continent, we have to call for their overthrow. So this is the time for us as Africans to unify into one bloc, into one country, into one nation, like how Dr. Kwame Nkrumah envisioned it in his work, Africa Must Unite. And then he warned us about the dangers that we are facing today in his work, Neocolonialism, the last stage of imperialism. And then he gave us another work which we can use to decolonize our continent. That work is called Philosophical Consensusism, the philosophy of decolonization. And he analyzed the whole neocolonial system for us to be able to understand it and deal with it decisively. And the time for decisive action as Pan-Africanists and as Africans on the continent is now. That time for decisive action is right now. We must act now as Africans. Like he said, we must unite or perish. Okay, we must unite or perish. We have already started also on this work. We have 3 petitions which I have put in the description. Check out in the description. One of those petitions that we started a few years ago, a few moments ago, is the demand for a united African state right now. We understand that we must put pressure. We must put pressure on the existing system, because these systems, they don't fall by themselves. Somebody has to put pressure on them. Okay, And then what we are going to do after these petitions, those ideas, those events, those steps will be determined by the Pan-Africanists and the Pan-African movement. But right now, what we have started is that we have put out petitions out there. We have put out petitions, and we are saying, join us in signing these petitions. What are the petitions about? The petitions are about unifying the continent. That is petition number 1. I'll put them in the description. Check them in the description down here. Unifying the continent into a unified nation, a single African state. That is a demand which we are making, from the existing neo-colonial structure, whether it is the African Union and the African heads of state, because we understand that, like I said, if we don't put pressure on them, they will not do what we are saying. They will not do what we want. So we are demanding for a united African state right now. Number 2, we are demanding that the wars on African continent be stopped. They should be stopped all over, starting with the war in Cameroon that has been going on by Paul Biya with the support of France. Even this Julius Malema mentioned it a few days ago when they demonstrated against France. The wars on the African continent must be, stopped. We are demanding that the wars be stopped. Number 3, we demand for a single currency and a single passport for all Africans. And these 3 petitions are down in the description. I'm saying that these 3 petitions are down in the description. Take them, share them with the rest of the friends of all the Pan-Africans and people outside the Pan-African, circles. Share them at least with 2 of your favorite contacts in your WhatsApp, in your Telegram, on Facebook, on Instagram, all of them. Just take out the links and go out there and share them so that they can move from step to step. That is how we are going to win this war. So 3 petitions, we demand for a united African state. Second petition, we demand for an end to wars on the African continent. Number 3 petition, we demand for a single currency and a single passport on the African continent. So these are our mobilization tools which we are using right now. And sign those petitions and share them, like I said. I want to thank you for watching up to the end. My name is Kwame Gonza, and I would like to say also one more thing. These petitions have been endorsed by, number 1, the PLO Lumumba Foundation, the PLO, the prominent Pan-Africanist. The PLO Lumumba Foundation has, endorsed these petitions. Pan-African Daily TV has endorsed these petition, Pan-African Daily TV by Dr. Susan, and the other person who has endorsed is Dr. Edmond Folfak, a very prominent oncologist. Dr. Edmond Folfak is a very prominent oncologist in Ohio State University Medical Center in the United States. He's originally also from Cameroon and is a very strong Pan-Africanist. The third person who has endorsed is the Sister Shanice show. All of you, Sister Shanice, a very prominent broadcaster, journalist, and powerful media personality within the Pan-African world. All these people have endorsed these petitions. So go out there, sign them. Like I said, they are down in the description. Sign them and share them with the rest of the world so that we can achieve a united Africa in the next 10 to 12 years. As our goals, we have set them that we have to unify our African continent on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the ideas of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, and all our ancestors, Chika Anta Diop, Robert Sobukwe, all of them. We have to combine these ideas. Our continent should be built on the ideas of our African and Pan-African forefathers, and not the ideas of Obama, not the ideas of George Bush and Clinton, all these neoliberal colonialists who have come and they have continued to exploit our continent, and all these Europeans who have continued to exploit our continent. So we call on you as Africans that you come and we act together. It is only by acting together that we will be able to overcome and work together as a people, as Pan-Africanists, and stand together and say, Africa must unite, Africa must unite, Africa must unite. This is Africa Reimagined, the channel. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share it also. And then let others subscribe and let them come together so that we can work together as a movement to rescue our continent. Africa and unified it into a single nation. Thank you very much. Africa must unite. Until next time.